Hi, sorry about that. Part 2. So I have to ask myself the question about existence. Like my father, who more or less tormented my childhood and left me quite damaged. That's just a fact of the matter. Uh, loomed, he loomed in my life in a way that was disproportionate to his existence. He wasn't around anymore. He died when I was 13. But why did he loom so large? And the answer, from what I can tell, is that I kept him there. That he no longer exists, but that I kept him there. And even more to this point, I kept myself tethered to an identity or relationship or binary with him somehow. Even when I spent years refusing to think about him or remember him or cry about him on the day that he died, which will be tomorrow. See how big? My whole life. And now Forrest is going to be like another kind of possibility of that, and could be very negative for me. And I haven't even been, in contact with like the grief of losing him. It's just, how do I process life every day? Do I do it by being hurt and angry? Because I've already done that with my father. I wish I didn't have so many negative feelings about Forrest. And I don't even want to unpack them. I'm exhausted. I was taking out the recycling, and I looked at the moon and said, why? Oh, I saw a chart about how we vibrate emotionally, and like where the different waves are, and the higher our thoughts are, the more higher the sound, the vibration, because you don't hear this, it's inaudible, but it's still emitted by our cellular, everything that we are, our matter. So my anger, you know. And then there's things like a dullness, like just a dull ache. No, it's not even an ache. It's just like a gray. And everything that might be associated to that emotionally. And that's like this woo kind of thing, like Forrest is dead, he killed himself. There's nothing else I can do but suck it up. I will never see him again. That thing. He didn't say goodbye. I got fired as a father. You know, my best efforts weren't enough. He died shooting up heroin or fentanyl. This is not a good way to live. And this is, I think, again, important documentation for junkies to look at and maybe infer what your father is going to go through. I've met a lot of good fathers. I used to think I was unique, you know, like, oh, I really went above and beyond, until I met some of these other fathers and realized that, like, we all did this. Sacrifice and love without thinking that we were going to end up, you know, beside our child's frickin' casket. I opened up one picture of my son, who was beautiful. He was my teacher. One picture. And I was reminded that he was not a figment or a dream, but a casualty of this heroin addiction, of drug use in general, of his own incredibly poor choices. I don't know. He was privileged. He was a white kid from the suburbs in his last year of university with lots of smarts and arts. Like, what a waste. And he's not unique, which breaks my heart. There are so many, you know, these other stories of these kids who are like star wrestlers or, you know, athletes. Maybe the thrill of athletics is just too hard. The thrill that you can get from drugs is just too compelling, too instant. I know what it's like to feel that, you know, with marijuana or a beer, but not shooting up. And I know that that is very, very intense and must feel really good. It's just not sustainable, period. It ruins everything and everyone. Just imagine what my life could have been and what Forrest's life could have been and all the other people that he would have been, you know, engaged with. And what What is there for me to do or say? Should I start now looking at pictures? Is this the next phase of... I don't want that. I want him, you know? And I'm doing a couple of things in his honor, if that is... I'm living every day. Thanks.